Hello, Internet. This is Arp Gren. Um, going to be playing some Guild Wars 2 and talking about the Holy Trinity, if you will. So, I play on Sanctum of Rawl. I've played on Sanctum of Rawl since launch. I jump in and out of this game. This game's a fun game, but the grind got a little too much for me to play on a long-term basis. You notice I'm playing in a window. That's because I'm recording this on a secondary monitor. I have three monitors hooked up to the computer, and this is the only one that I can manage to record off of for reasons I don't quite know yet. I'll figure that out for maybe a future video. So I'm gonna hop right into this. Right now I'm playing a necromancer in World v World in the Sanctum of All Borderlands, as you probably noticed. Um, my build, in case people are curious, because that's always going to be the first question, is a very heavy condition build. Um, and that's what I have. I use the precision toughness condition, which is the carrion. Oh wait, not carrion. Is it? Yes? No? I guess carrion. Berserkers. Oh, that's the items. Sorry, it's the rabid that I'm using. I always forget because I don't play this game constantly like I used to. Um, Granted, it's a very fun game, but like I said, the grind was too much. So what we're going to talk about right now is the Holy Trinity. A lot of people I see on the forums with this game, as well as many others, complaining that this game and its Holy Trinity, or lack thereof, just it doesn't work. I would fully disagree because this game is and always primarily will be a player versus player game. This is a PvP game. If you don't like it, well then don't play it. It's called Guild Wars, not World of something, not something online. It's Guild Wars. Wars and groups of people, which are guilds, fighting each other is the name of the game. It has PvE elements, and that's actually one of the main reasons I don't play it that much, is because I feel ArenaNet focuses too much on the guild, too much on the PvE, and less on the PvP like I feel they should. This is a PvP game, like, long and the short of it. That's just the way it is. Uh, okay, I'm getting hit here. Let's plague them, see if that works. I got a couple pugs here, so I don't think this is gonna bode so well for myself. But we'll see what we can get here. Um, and Blackgate is also a very powerful and well done server, so yeah, usually fighting these guys is not such an easy task, especially since I think my guys are dead now. Okay, yeah, I'm toast. Oswells. Yeah, he's stealth, I'm dead. Oh, what? He got me? Nice. So anyways, this is a prime example of why the Holy Trinity simply just works. Or sorry, the lack of the Holy Trinity. Getting confused here because I'm getting ganked. All right, well, that was an unsuccessful attempt, but fret not. Anyways, the lack of the Holy Trinity works in this game because you'll notice that that fight went on for quite some time. And there was no healers, there was no tanks, there was no people taunting to make sure they didn't take damage, there was no healers going, oh, hold on, target the healer. It was just us fighting. And that's what's so beautiful about this game's PvP, is this game, without a shadow of a doubt, I feel in the MMO community, has the best PvP, because it's the one that just it works. Like there's no you had to target the wrong guy, or you had to target this guy, or you didn't do this, or you didn't interrupt them, or you didn't chain CC. There's a bit of CC in this game, but you're not really going to get chain CC'd unless there's a large group of people. And if there's a large group of people, you were dead anyway. They didn't need to CC you. You were you were dead the second you saw them. So that's what really works in this game, is that everyone's a healer. You can, a lot of different people can play support roles. Oh, well, it looks like we just took a keep, and I was late to the party. Well, what do you know? I'm gonna try to see if I can't form up with the Zerg so I can better explain myself without having to get ganked. And no, I'm not the world's greatest PvP player, but I still like it, and that's the thing. Like there's always room for improvement. I'm not really awfully that talented as a PvP player. I'm not gonna claim I'm more of a PvE guy in a lot of games, but this game's PvP is so good that it's kept me to the game, and I keep coming back every now and then. But I play a lot of other games like World of Warcraft. I was recently in the Elder Scrolls Online beta. Um, And I've played a lot of games like Star Wars: The Old Republic, Secret World, Age of Conan, Rift, Ion. I've played just about every MMO modern that came out since pretty much RuneScape, except for Vanguard. I skip Vanguard because anyone that claims that they are a WoW killer has already failed. Sorry, no. And mad props to ArenaNet and other companies that are just not jumping on that we're gonna kill World of Warcraft bandwagon. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Back onto it. So with the whole healers, tanks, and DPS gone, everyone's a DPS, and a lot of people will complain, and this is a very valid complaint about this game, is that the way the stats work are very fixed. You know, you don't have healer specific or DPS specific. There are items that are more specific to survival and items that are more specific to pure DPS, and then a combination of the two, as well as also things like buff duration, which makes your buffs last longer. And then there is also uh, things like condition damage, and then there's healing. So you can be a healer, you can be a tank, but not in the traditional sense because you can't hold aggro. So there's no such real thing as a tank. Um, for those, of course, who haven't played this game, because I'm assuming just about everyone has, this is one of the few MMOs that has actually grown since launch. But for those who haven't, this game works a lot differently than you would expect in a PvE circumstance because, again, there's no holy trinity. But every class sort of has its own sort of tank build, its own sort of pure DPS build, and there's a lot of classes that have multiple different DPS builds, so that you can go pure DPS, you can go condition damage DPS, so that you do a bunch of dots and bleed effects and that, so everyone takes damage all the time. Right now I'm playing a Necromancer that's just heavy on condition damage, and as well as survivability, so I'm like a combination of the two. Um, but like you have healers. So some classes do it better than others. Like guardians and elementalists are really powerful. Support healers, if you will. Engineers can be support healers as well. Necromancers, not as much, but you got some cool tanking options. For example, with a Necromancer, you can do your Minion Master build, which is a common term used from Guild Wars 1, where you just have a bunch of demons that follow you around. And then you use, for example, dagger to siphon a bunch of life. So that's an example of a build. But then, of course, I'm using a completely different and separate staff because of World v World, and then I use, the scepter, and I personally like focus over Warhorn because it gives me that extra regeneration and survivability, as well as stopping people when they're trying to run away. Structured PvP is completely different, and I don't personally really like the structured PvP. Not that it's some sort of balance thing, because I'll show you right now. The Ascendeds came out, and I have like an Ascended on this character, and that's it. My Thief has a few more Ascendeds, but that's not such a big deal. And in this game, fortunately, though they have the Ascended tier rather than just the Exotic tier, you're not gonna auto lose every time because the person's in full ascendants in full exotics, because there is a lot of skill in this game that is simply just not present in some other MMOs. Or the skill in this game is positional awareness, using the skills properly, having your build well done, and less about just stun locking someone or stunning someone or interrupting them at the right moment. There is some of that, granted, but it's just not the same. It's more skill based on how you can outsmart your opponent and use the right skill at the right time, which I think is a lot more compelling than for example, doing a lot of just stun-based stuff that World of Warcraft now, and even they're starting to admit that it went too far and straying away from it. And then games like Star Wars, The Old Republic. Uh, yeah, the game, I like that game, but my goodness, the stuns are so over the top that it just hurts my poor little feelings. And it's just so unfortunately designed because of that. But, that game's free to play, fell into obscurity. I don't think any more needs to be said about it. Um, but with the Holy Trinity, like, I personally feel I would like to see, now that I've played Guild Wars 2, I'd like to see a lot of games stray away from the Holy Trinity, allowing players to work as a team, but giving them the tools in which to give themselves the means of which to endure and fight encounters. Um, What I mean by that is giving the player their own responsibility to heal themselves, but giving other players around them the ability to help them. Like the dungeons in this game aren't exactly what I would call a lot of fun. And it's not because they're overly challenging, it's because they're just overly silly. It's just, 20-minute boss fights that you just stand there spamming the no real rotation buttons that you get. And to me that's kind of boring, and that's why I again think that they put too much focus in this game on PvE rather than PvP, which is what they should focus on. Alright, killing this guy, gonna get some rewards. So for those who haven't played World v World, you just go around taking keeps. This is, I think, Dark Age of Camelot started this kind of stuff, and then you got games like Warhammer Online, obviously this game, and I don't know, I've heard on news sites that ESO's, or Elder Scrolls Online, is gonna have something similar to this. I have no idea. They've said that that's gonna be the case. I don't know. We'll find out when it launches, which is actually not long from now, which is going to be sweet. But uh, like I really like especially in this game, that it's not so much, let's find a healer and stuff. It's more or less let's kind of try to find a class. And because it's not super hard to level, like I personally have 380s in this game: Necromancer, Guardian, and Thief. My favorite's probably the Necromancer, because they're just a lot of fun to play. I love the different builds, the condition, and also I like being ranged in World v World. Like this is what I play when it comes to Guild Wars 2. The PvE content's just not very fun. And with the Holy Trinity, I can definitely see where people say that it lacks. I would agree with that. Without the Holy Trinity, PvE can be difficult unless it's done properly, and this game doesn't do it properly. I think they just hop maps on me. That's okay. I'm going to switch over. I'm assuming they went to Blackgate because that's what our server doesn't like. Ah, it's queued. Oh, well. I'll stick around here for a bit then. For the PvE, in fact, I'll just quickly switch out. Where Lion's Arch. Okay, I'm going to switch out to my Thief. But PvE is kind of just drab and boring. The dungeons are really not awfully interesting or compelling. They're often too long. The rewards are, well, that's one of the main problems with this game that a lot would say is the rewards, especially in PvE. Like you go through all the heartache and the struggle, and you die a whole bunch, and then you get like nothing. Like you get nothing. That's it. We're done. Um, Uh-huh. So what I'm going to do is I'm hoping that I've unlocked it with this character, and it doesn't look like I have. I have not. So again, I'm going to switch to my Guardian. I have done world completion. I was halfway to my legendary until, because I was on and off this game, I was halfway to my legendary before, perfect, I'm in the right spot. Halfway to my legendary before they released the Ascended stuff, and now it's just far too expensive for me to care about it, so I just don't even bother. Um, so the PvE, I don't know if there's a hard round here, but the PvE is like this, like what I'm doing here. I got one attack on this staff. I can shoot a ball at him. Okay, cool. That did a bit more damage. It scales, which is kind of interesting and novel, but almost feels like redundant when you've leveled up. It's like, okay, cool, I leveled up, but like, why bother? It's almost this game feels almost like it should have just been, level cap should have been even easier to get than it is, because it doesn't matter. Um, I guess, okay. No idea where the Zerg is, but this is essentially what PvE is for a lot of people, is the sort of champion circle Zerg, if you will. If they're not here, they're probably over here. And essentially it's just a grind. In this case, this is where not having the Holy Trinity is actually quite useful, because you never have to feel like, oh, I'm not the right spec, I'm not a healing spec, this is going to be really hard for me to do. No, you can just go out and do whatever you want. Like, even if you're in healer gear, you can still deal enough damage to handle PvE. You'll just be more survivable in case they are attempting to kill you or whatever. And there's no PvP out in the world, which is, I think, a good choice, and keep it to the instance stuff or the open world v world. Um, So I'm just trying to find the Zerg because I'd really like to demonstrate like the PvE, and this is kind of more or less the closest thing you get to raiding in this game. So because there's no real roles, everyone's essentially just tanks DPS, or you can be slightly tankier. Like this character's kind of all around the place because I'm using just the simple stuff, big condition damage, vitality, whatever. I don't really play this character. I played this character a lot when this is my first 80, and then after that I just gave up and just said, you know what, I'm not gonna bother with this. I'm gonna play a different character because I just don't like the Guardian class. But this class is fairly tanky and easily the closest to a healer with skills like empower like this. I stand here, channel, everyone gets healed around me, and then gain some power. Cool. But that's a skill, and you notice it's 11, 10, 9. So this is where it's a lot more interesting not to have healers because I don't just spam a healing spell. I damage. So like in a fight, I would do damage in between. Oh, now my healing spell's ready. Okay. So and in most circumstances, you just be doing it out of just the sake of doing it, right? Versus, let's say, World of Warcraft, which I also play. Healing is a lot more reaction or being proactive and responding and constantly doing things and stuff, which is cool. I totally like it, but it's nice to see that someone tried something different. And again, I feel it was for the most part a success, but there are some failures because honestly, the dungeons without the tank healer DPS, their boss fights are just grossly fatal. But what I mean by that is you get one shot a lot, or you take on like an exorbitant amount of damage instantly. Um, and then you'll die, which other people can revive you. If you've never played this game, it's when someone's down, you can just press a button and you'll help revive them, even in the middle of combat. It just takes longer when in combat versus not in combat, and anyone can do that at any time. So no, there's no class restrictions. So again, everyone's kind of the field medic, the healer, whatever. Um, wow, people actually give a crap on my staff. It's just some crappy exotic. Okay, well, in case for people that think that this thing that I got on the auction house for like a gold. Okay, so finally we get a fight. So right now I'm going to start off with staff. There's no threat, so this guy will just bounce between different people. So this is where like the tank would be, holding it, and the healers would be sort of in the back. It doesn't matter because this guy's just going to switch to whoever the closest people. So if you jump back here, and he's likely not going to attack you. Some different guys will have mechanics where, for example, one of the more popular ones when the game was first launched, you do the little karma circle in the law the coast. I forget what it was called. It's been a long time since I've been there. Curse Shore. I was not even remotely close in my head. Missed the revive there, but that's how that works. But there's like, for example, the one champion there, he would just pick someone and chase them, and of course some idiot would always reset them and whatever. So boom, okay, we've done. I got some sort of item. I'll just double click it. Hooray! That's what I get. That's PvE in a nutshell. Because even if I did a dungeon, the boss fight would have taken 10 times longer. There would have been more trash involved. Some sort of cool little gimmick, thing that you do, which is, fine and dandy and all. I appreciate that. But the rewards would be the exact same as just standing here grinding. So that's the main failure with PvE in this game, is that it's kind of pointless. You just keep grinding, and then everyone's talking about you know not getting their precursors. I put a lot of money into trying to get a precursor, and I never got anything. So I'm not butthurt about that because it's all RNG. I accept that. I've been lucky in RNG in other games that I've played, like Pokemon, for example. Most people have never seen a shiny. I have 15, so, and two of them are soft resetted legendaries. For anyone who's ever played that game, you'll know, holy shkaboli, he's got more than one. Yeah, I put a lot of hours into that. So I've had luck in RNG in other games, and I've had bad luck in RNG in this game. So be it. Um, and this is another fight, so he's gonna try to probably attack people. And you'll notice I have a lot less life. See, perfect. There's the revive. You'll notice that bar gets back up. Cool. So that's kind of, the role of battle res, if you will. So some encounters you can, I'm getting hit. He's targeting me. Cool. I'm not very tanky, but I'm certainly not a pushover. But this is the best you're gonna get for like raiding and stuff like that. So I'm gonna hopefully get the heal off before he kills me, and I did. Excellent. This is the best you're sort of gonna get for raiding, like the world event kind of things, which is really drab. I wish they do some instanced, 10 or 20 sort of guilds type things. I don't know if they have the ability to ever do that because ArenaNet has been proven to drop the ball more times than they have not been proven to. So it's kind of I guess a good thing for them that they don't do it. But yeah, here, let's help revive the... Oh, too many resurrectors. Too many people trying to help. And that's a beauty of this game, is that a lot of people will just help you, which is cool. But you see these fights, you kind of just everyone Zerg DPSs, which is fun. Like it's a lot more compelling, especially for people who don't like being pigeonholed into a role. Like I actually ended up quitting Star Wars: The Old Republic. I think what 3 months after launch, because I was forced to be a healer. And not that I complain about being forced to be a healer, but that class in particular I didn't like. And it just ended up, and there was a lot of guild drama, so I was just like, forget this game. So like that's the one thing that's definitely an advantage without the Holy Trinity is having the ability for there to be more room to just be what you kind of want to be. And with the dungeon finder in this game, it's not the same as say World of Warcraft where you queue up. You kind of just join groups and then you do the dungeons. Sometimes the leader will still kick you if you're not good or whatever. Blah blah blah. I've never been kicked myself, and I've certainly never done a dungeon on this guy. I usually do them on my thief, who is just pure Zerker, like, except for he uses Valkyrie armor, but pure Zerker otherwise. So he does a lot of damage, and that's just what he does. So in that way, I've got a bit of survivability, but it's mostly just kick some butt. But yeah, it's compelling and it's fun, kinda, but it slogs on. And this is where I think not necessarily the Holy Trinity could fix this. This was a design choice, but I think this game has proven that the Holy Trinity could be abandoned. Some other games are starting to take a closer approach to that. Some don't. I like to see like the beauty. I like that the Holy Trinity is removed from this game is that every character class sort of has their own ability to be a sort of support character, a sort of tankier character, and then you go from there. And I think that's one thing that if you have the Holy Trinity, you're not willing to get rid of it. At least make it so every class is a hybrid. Having pure classes is not good. It's just not good. There's no point in it. Star Wars was pretty close to making all their classes hybrids, but they had two pures, and I just like pures just don't work anymore, because there's always going to be more DPS than there are tanks and healers. So encouraging people to have the openness to do that is a good thing. Or especially in this game, you just simply bring the class, not the role, which is both good and bad. It is what it is. There's no point in complaining about it because I don't care that much about this game. But did I actually? Perfect. So yeah, you just go in the circle, you kill champions. This is the PvE end game. This can actually be, and I mean this seriously for those who have not played this game, this can be end game for you. Because what I am doing is actually earning money, which brings me closer to getting something like a legendary, which is just horrendously brutally hard to get for some people that are especially RNG unlucky like me. So hooray, I got some stuff that I can sell for a bit of gold. Alright, 4 silver. Hooray! This is endgame. Which again is not has nothing to do with the Holy Trinity, but it definitely has to do with the design of the game. But it's kind of cool because you just, you bring your character. Anyways, I have ranted long enough about this game. Probably not going to be doing any more videos on this game because as cool as Guild Wars 2 is, this is Guild Wars 2. You stand in a circle and you hear me pressing 1. I am pressing 1 furiously. Hold on, I pressed 4. Ah, okay, we win. Yeah, welcome to Guild Wars 2. Anyways, this is Arp Gren signing out. Have a great day, Internet, and enjoy the games that you play because that's what we should be doing.